everybody. I'm so happy to be back. This feels really good. I hope everyone is doing well under this bizarre circumstances. I hope everyone is healthy and well, and hopefully maybe getting some house projects. I wanted to do a drawing class. I mentioned it a few weeks before, and what happened was I got a puppy, and I never had a puppy before, and it's just been taking a lot out of me. And then this whole thing with the coronavirus and everything going on with work and stuff, it's just been crazy. So I want to get back in the groove of things. So originally, I was going to give a list of supplies, but obviously we don't want to go out right now or even order non-essentials. And most of us have reduced income right now with everything going on. So I figured, why not, if you guys are sitting home with your kids, teach some basic drawing lessons with things that you already have around the house. So all I have here is a basic school pencil, or just a basic pencil. These are my favorites, but you probably have, any pencil would do. And this is just basic computer paper, printer paper. But if you have a sketchbook, use it. If you have, your kids have an art set, or you have an art set and you have like some drawing pencils, you can use them. I mean, I just don't want anyone to feel they have to get anything. So if you have a set of drawing pencils and stuff, and you see like 2H and 5B or whatever, you don't know what it means, or you have some supplies in there and you're like, what's this? Feel free to later on post a picture in these comments and ask me, and I will be glad to tell you what they're for. You might have different kinds of erasers. I love these. These are the white ones that come with the drawing. These are my favorite. You might have a kneaded eraser. These are great too. I use this usually for charcoal drawing, but if you want to use it, that's fine. But I'm not going to use any of my art stuff. I'm going to do just the basic stuff around the house to get teach you some basic drawing techniques, skills, and you have it at home. So to get started, so grab your pencil, and obviously when you write with your pencil, you're holding it up here and you're writing. You want to be a little more loose, okay? So you don't want to be so tight, especially when you're sketching out. Now for a circle, for instance, when you start drawing, you don't want committed lines at first. And what I mean committed lines is definitely decide on your line right away. So if I draw a circle, it might not be a perfect circle if I commit to the line, okay? What I mean by uncommitted lines, I want you to be loose. And for a sphere or a circle, I want you to just lightly go around. And once you start doing that, and you lightly go around and lightly sketch in and practice, then you put in more of a defined line. As you notice, this is a lot more, and obviously if you just draw this, you can always erase it. But I'm just sketching here, I'm not going to probably erase it. But this is easier to get a perfect circle than just going into a committed line, especially when you're starting out. I like to do the loose drawing with pretty much everything and build up in layers till you get your final drawing, okay? So when you start drawing, I want you to relax and practice. Another example is that I draw a tree and I make committed lines. I might do okay, but that kind of looks funky there, But if I sit here and I kind of almost go back and forth lightly, uncommitted, you kind of get a feel for what you're drawing. And it's a lot more relaxed, not so intense, and I don't want you to get caught up in being a perfectionist, because drawing will be in stages. If you see people with very detailed drawings, they just don't generally sit and just pound it out in like 20 minutes. Unless they're like cartoonists and they've been drawing the same image over and over and they have been practicing, sure. But generally, drawing actually takes a lot of time. And you will get a nice looking. It's just a lot easier to draw when you're loose. Okay, so that's the first thing I want you to focus on. The second thing for this week, or a couple days I want you to focus on, now this is going to be a little more harder with a school pencil, but practice drawing different kinds of lines just to get used to your pencils. So if you do have a drawing set, this would be a perfect opportunity to explore what they can do. So don't limit just the tip here. I mean, you can do different strokes. You can do, this is called crotchet, you know, and then you can even use the side of your pencil, okay? You can do dots. Just different strokes. Work on that too with your pencil. Okay, so I'm going to come back here. I'm going to give you a basic lesson on when you practice. I'm going to give you kind of an assignment or something to practice on. But this is the basic idea with light source and shadows, which we'll probably get into later on in other videos. So when you put a shadow on and you're drawing anything, you want to have an idea where the light is hitting the object. So I'm going to draw an arrow. Let's say the light is hitting right there, okay? This is going to be your lightest point. So you're going to have this part a little darker. And, you know, with a simple graphite pencil for school, it's going to be a little hard to get values than drawing pencils, but you can just, over here, I want you to just push a little harder, and as you get here, you just press it lighter. If you want, you can take, this would probably work better with a tissue, but I have a paper towel right here. Or a Q-tip. With you can even blend it. Even if they're not drawing pencils. Okay? So you don't even have to have professional drawing pencils to make it really nice and blended. This is just a basic pencil I use for school. And then the shadow will be on the other side. Okay? So think about lighting and being loose. Now, since we're stuck in the home, if you want a project to do, I would love to suggest, and many artists have done this, to pick one object in your house. It could be a coffee mug. It could be a stuffed animal. This is my sad little elephant. Something that you have on hand that you can draw every day. Draw it every day. It might feel repetitive, but taking and studying an object and drawing it every day will really teach you a lot about drawing. And then you can look back, well, you know, the first day, this is okay, but look, this is my 20th day. Wow, I really improved in this area. And it helps and forces you to look at the more detailed every time you draw it. A lot like George O'Keeffe drew painted a door over and over. Vincent van Gogh painted his room over and over again. So this is something that you can do. Now, this is going to sound intimidating, but you can pick an object in your home. But what I suggest is the best thing to pick is your hand. Why do I pick a hand? There's a lot of reasons. First of all, you always have your hands with you, so you can always sketch. But but it's more than that. You can move your hands in different positions, even though it's the same object, and learn foreshadowing and just different positions to help you really understand it. And a hand is complex. It really helps. Now, this may seem intimidating. I want to make this simple for you. Yes, if you look at like a hand, it will seem intimidating. But I choose this hand because I want to show you the mindset of drawing. Okay? A lot of us as kids, when we draw, we kind of think in our mind, well, that's a house. And we have it like a cartoon picture in a house, and we try to make, I'm going to draw like a kid, try to make it like a house. Like this is how kids draw, right? With real drawing, you really have to think of it differently. You don't think of it as the object. What you're going to look at is shapes. So I have my hand here, okay? So I'm going to just have my hand out like this. If you notice, this part right here is almost like a rectangle. I want you to break it down in simple shapes. So, and again, don't make a defined or committed line with this. Same thing. So I have almost like a rectangle. Now we can round this out for a hand, but I want you to think of simple shapes. I want you to take an object and break it down into simple shapes. Right here, this meaty part is actually like an oval. You can even feel your hand and feel the shapes here. Don't get caught up on the details here. So the oval comes on the bottom here. Just draw an oval. So what kind of shapes are we looking for? I'm going to take a break here. We have squares or cubes, right? We have spheres or circles. We have cylinders, triangles. Think of basic shapes, rectangles. Okay, this is what I want you to think of as you're looking at the hand, okay? And it comes in 3, okay? I think I had a glitch there, I'm sorry. So for here, I have 2 parts. I'm just gonna draw, this is kind of like a fatter cylinder, a cylinder. And we can define the thumb later and round it off. That comes later, but think of it as simple shapes. Here, these are 3. Hope I don't run into this drawing up here. And if you want to put an edge, it's fine, but just think of cylinders. This one just goes a little higher. And it's going to look like a robotic hand at first. You're just getting down the shapes first. And I'm not making any committed line. That comes later, okay? This one's going to come a little shorter. I am holding my pencil up here, but I'm still very loose. I'm not uptight here. And again, the short one. And you're going to readjust this and readjust it, and that's part of drawing. You're not going to get the perfect line right away. Okay, yes, it does look robotic, but eventually what you're going to do, you're going to just like notice and just make uncommitted lines and just kind of like connect the dots. Okay, I'm not going to do this whole hand. I just want to give you an idea. Like the rectangle actually comes down like this. Then you're going to round the tips, kind of connect them. You're going to be putting shadows in. Start every time. Draw your hand. I really want to challenge you, draw your hand once a day for the next, 30 days. Try to draw like, up to 50 hands. You'll be amazed. Get like a big paper or a whole bunch of these and just draw a whole bunch of hands and mark it day 1. And you'd be surprised when you get to day 30 or even day 20 or even probably day 15, the improvement that you make. So drawing really is a skill, but it's also a lot of practice. Okay? So that's what I want to go over tonight. I am hopefully planning to do another drawing tip or lesson on Thursday at 8. Probably going to do it twice a week for a bit until we're all stuck at home anyway. I mean, I'm not going anywhere. No one else is. So just take your pencil, take your paper, pick an object. I recommend a hand, but if you don't want to, you can pick a cup. Be loose. Be loose with your, before you make a committed line. Okay, think about the light, and think about get to know your pencils with the strokes. Okay, if you do this, please post. I love to see work. I know a lot of you guys feel like, oh, it might not be good enough. You're your own worst critic. I think a lot of my stuff's bad too, believe it or not. It's just the artist's mind or everyone's mind. We're so critical of ourselves. I guarantee you, if you post your stuff, people will encourage you. So please post, or if you have a question, like I'm stuck on this or whatever, just throw a comment. I will be glad to answer. And I hope you're doing some fun projects. Stay healthy, spend time with your family, and hopefully I'll see you Thursday. All right.